Welcome back to another Rivals match in Roblox. We're starting from the lobby, and I'm getting everything ready before jumping into the next fight. I check the weapons area and head toward the play button. The map is completely white, with walls and narrow passages everywhere. I need to use the cover carefully and watch every corner. The round starts, and I move forward with my assault rifle ready. I quickly spot movement ahead. An enemy is coming through the opening. I aim and start firing. They try to move behind the wall, so I keep my crosshair on them and continue shooting. I land several hits, but the opponent manages to get away. I move to another position and look for a better angle. Then I see them again. I fire another burst and keep pushing forward. The enemy is moving quickly through the narrow corridor, so I have to react fast. I take cover and reload. Then I peek out again. The opponent is waiting on the other side. I start firing, but they manage to get the better position. I keep moving and avoid standing in the open. Another enemy appears from a different direction. I turn and start shooting. The fight becomes very close. I deal some damage, but the enemy keeps moving around the walls. I follow them and try to find another opening. Then I get another chance to attack. I fire again and keep the pressure on. But this round isn't going the way I wanted. The enemy team is starting to take control, so I change my position. I move higher up on the map and look through the openings. From here, I can see another player moving between the walls. I aim carefully and fire. The enemy reacts and shoots back. I move behind cover and wait. After a moment, I peek out again. They're still there. I fire another burst and land several shots. The opponent retreats, and I push forward. But before I can finish the fight, another player appears. I quickly turn and start firing. There's almost no time to react. I try to move around the wall, but the enemy catches me. The round ends with a loss. That wasn't the start I wanted, but the match is far from over. I get another chance and prepare for the next round. This time I'm going to play more carefully, use the map better, and look for every opening. The enemy already has the advantage, so I need to fight back. I move forward again and watch the corridors. Another opponent appears below me. I aim down and start firing. They don't see me immediately, so I have the advantage. I keep shooting and prepare to finish the fight. Now the comeback begins. The fight is still going, and the enemy team has the advantage. The score is 4-1, so we need to fight back. I stay behind the walls and watch the openings. I check the area ahead. An enemy appears. I aim with the assault rifle and start firing. They move behind cover, so I wait for another opening. As soon as they peek out, I fire again. A few shots connect. I keep the pressure on and move closer. The enemy disappears again. I check the other side. Another player suddenly appears. I react quickly and start shooting. They try to move around the corner, but I keep tracking them. I land several hits and force them to retreat. I push forward and continue firing. Another elimination. That's exactly what we needed. I reload and move through the next section of the map. I use the walls for cover. I hear gunfire nearby. An opponent appears from the side. I aim and fire immediately. They move quickly toward cover. I follow their movement and keep shooting. Another hit. They retreat again. I change my position and get a better angle. The enemy appears for a moment. I fire. Another elimination. I move forward and check the next corridor. There's another player ahead. I take cover and wait. They step out. I start firing. They shoot back, so I move behind the wall. I peek out again. The opponent is still there. I fire another burst and land several shots. They try to escape, but I push forward and finish the fight. Another elimination. Another opponent appears in the distance. I aim carefully and take the first shot. They move between the walls, but I keep tracking them. A few more shots connect. They hide behind cover. I move around the side and get another angle. I fire again. Another elimination. Now the comeback is getting serious. I reload and prepare for the next fight. There are still enemies ahead. I move toward the center with my weapon ready. Another player appears. I aim and take the shot. They try to escape, but I keep the pressure on. We started 4 points behind, but now we're fighting our way back. The next elimination could bring us even closer. I keep moving and preparing for another battle. The battle continues, and now we're starting to turn the match around. Our team finally gets a point, and I'm moving back into the fight. I push through the map and check the next corridor. There are enemies above and ahead, so I stay behind cover and look for a safe opening. I spot a player in the distance. I aim and start firing. They move behind the wall, so I change position and wait. As soon as they appear again, I fire another burst. A few shots connect, and they retreat. I keep moving forward and search for another angle. Another opponent appears. I start shooting immediately. They try to move around the cover, but I keep tracking them. The fight is close, but I manage to take them down. Another elimination. Now the score is 1-0, and our team has momentum. I move deeper into the map and check the different paths. The area suddenly opens up, giving me several directions to attack from. I see an enemy across the map. I aim and fire. They return fire, so I move behind a wall. I wait for a moment and peek out again. The opponent is still there. I fire another burst and force them back. Then I push forward and finish the fight. Another elimination. The enemy team is trying to respond, so I stay mobile and avoid standing in one place. I switch to the riot shield and move through the next section. The shield gives me extra protection while I get closer to the enemy. I move around the corner and see another player. They start shooting, but I keep moving forward behind the shield. I get closer and prepare to attack. The fight begins at close range. I keep the pressure on and manage to survive the exchange. Another elimination. The map suddenly becomes covered in a strange purple space effect. Everything around me changes, but the battle continues. I move through the glowing area and search for the next enemy. There's a player behind the wall. I approach carefully and wait for them to move. They appear. I attack immediately. They try to retreat, but I follow them through the corridor. Another elimination. The timer is getting lower, so there isn't much time left in this round. I move toward the center and look for one more target. An enemy appears ahead. I push forward and attack. They try to escape behind the wall. I keep chasing and land several hits. Another elimination. The round is almost over. I move back into position and prepare for the next fight. Our team has finally started building momentum, and now I want to keep it going. The timer is almost finished, but the match is still wide open. I keep my weapon ready and wait for the next round. The next round begins, and I'm ready to keep the comeback going. I move forward and spot an opponent near the wall. I aim and start firing. They hide behind cover, but I change position and catch them when they peek out. I fire again. Another elimination. I reload and move toward the center. Another player appears ahead. I take cover and wait for the right moment. They step out. I start shooting and keep tracking their movement. The fight is close, but I manage to take them down. Another elimination. I hear gunfire from the side. An enemy appears, and I immediately start firing. They move behind a wall. I change position and get another angle. They appear again. I fire and finish the fight. Another elimination. Our team is gaining momentum. I reload and move through the next section. Another opponent is waiting ahead. I take cover and prepare. They start firing first, so I move sideways and return fire. A few shots connect. The enemy retreats, but I keep pushing. I catch them from the side and finish the elimination. Another point for our team. I move forward and spot another player across the map. I aim and fire. They try to escape between the walls. I follow their movement and keep shooting. They hide behind cover. I move around and get a better angle. I fire again. Another elimination. The score is looking much better now. I reload and search for another target. An opponent suddenly appears right in front of me. I react immediately and start shooting. They try to circle around me, but I keep moving. Another elimination. Only a few enemies are left. I move toward the center and spot one more player. I take cover and wait. They peek out. I fire and force them back. I reload, change position, and attack again. The final shots connect. Another elimination. Our team is very close to taking control of the match. I keep moving toward the next area with my weapon ready. The comeback is working. Now we just need to finish the round.